Welcome back, guys. Today, Nintendo is once again in the news, and not for something a lot of us are gonna be happy about. This time, affecting Pokemon fans, specifically people who like to make fan games. So, released back in 2007, Pokemon Essentials was a game creation tool in the vein of Mario Maker or RPG Maker that used assets from the Pokemon universe. There were some popular fan games created from this specific tool. One of the most popular was Pokemon Uranium. Pokemon Uranium was shut down nearly 2 years ago by Nintendo, and now the tool used for its creation has been taken down by them as well. Kinda weird that the game, not the tool, was targeted first. Maybe it was due to the popularity of that particular fan game, as it was downloaded well over 1 million times. Nintendo probably thought this would dip into their sales. Sure, a fan game made with a creation tool will stop Pokemon fans from buying legitimate official releases. I seriously don't think that's how it works. Come on now. So, a moderator from the PokemonCommunity.com by the name of Marin made a post stating the following concerning Nintendo's actions today. So let's go ahead and take a look. Today, the Pokemon Essentials wiki and all downloads for it have been taken down due to a copyright claim by Nintendo of America. We'd like to share a few important notes on this. Please, don't freak out about the claim. There's no reason to get angry with Nintendo or anyone else involved. It doesn't need to be a bigger deal than it should be. We will not allow Pokemon Essentials or any of its assets to be hosted or distributed on Pokemon or the Poke community. This includes derivatives such as Essentials GS or Essentials DS. We sincerely apologize that we have to do this, but there is no going around it. Mods such as the BW2 mod, which don't feature itself Essentials, are still fine though. All of other scripts, tutorials, resources, and games will still be allowed on Poke community. Please note that as the situation develops, the actions we take may change. So yeah, pretty deep stuff. Definitely an admirable approach to the situation from these guys, but I know with how passionate the Pokemon community is, there will definitely be people who are defiant to the request of not being angry with Nintendo. I mean, Nintendo's been doing a lot of stuff lately, you know, the lawsuits against ROM sites, the fan games, and, you know, this stuff's not just affecting Nintendo properties, it's affecting other companies' properties who, in my opinion, may not even care, but Nintendo's having an effect on all of it. So opinions and thoughts on these kind of things definitely flow through the spectrum of emotions for plenty of people. You know, a lot believe that, you know, if it is a fan-made project, it should be left alone. I typically feel the same way. You know, fans love these franchises and want to expand on what they love about them by making new art, new games, and new stories, and sharing them amongst the community. I honestly believe that aspect of fandom hurts no one. I said it earlier, but a fan game will not dip in the sales of an official release from the same franchise. You know, when no one is charging for a fan-made project, I see no harm in that. But due to how copyright law is, there really is no argue on this when Nintendo decides to file a copyright claim against you for being a fan of one of their precious franchises. So Nintendo, you know, they've had a long history of filing these claims and, you know, now getting into the multi-million-dollar lawsuits to protect their IPs. You know, no matter how any of us feel, it's definitely within Nintendo's legal right to do so. But they just seem to be stuck in an old way of thinking. You know, it just depends on how you want to look at this, but there's plenty of things I disagree with, and there's things I agree with. But, you know, for example, you know, their YouTube policies prevent a lot of us from covering their games, old and new. I typically don't cover Nintendo first-party games on my channel because their way of looking at that is kind of archaic and just it doesn't make sense. It's like, don't you want people to share, to advertise your products and, you know, review them and let people know what they think? But Nintendo doesn't seem to think that way. Many other companies seem to not take as much issue with these things as they do. Sonic Mania was the product of fan creators. You know, Sega embraced that notion and we wound up getting one of the best Sonic the Hedgehog games ever made. Definitely better than most of their offerings in the past 20 or so years, for sure. You know, I just wish Nintendo would embrace its fans and recognize what they do to celebrate their passion for the games that they have made. Is it right to take down fan-made games and creation tools? Not if they're free, in my opinion. You know, if they're not hurting anyone, like I said, prove to me that a fan-made game or fan-made art of any sort will diminish the profits or the sales of the actual franchise. I really don't believe that's the case. You know, piracy is a different subject matter. You know, if you put out Super Mario Odyssey and it's pirated immediately, I could see that affecting sales. But people sharing their fandom for, you know, different properties, different, you know, companies' creations, games, I don't see an issue with that. Is Nintendo going to start giving copyright notices to people who want to cosplay as Super Mario or Luigi? I mean, people who want to cover music or, you know, do you know, their own variants or remixes on music from their franchises. Nintendo going to go after that? Probably. I mean, this is definitely not the end of us hearing about Nintendo and copyright claims. It's just unfortunate, you know, with certain things, we're all going to have different opinions on these subject matters. The ROMs, stuff like that. I mean, that one's hard to debate one way or another. It affects more than just Nintendo is what the issues are. You know, if Nintendo starts setting these precedents for things like with fan games or fan art, like, I mean, I'm serious when I say fan art. I'm not just talking about these games. I'm talking about people drawing pictures and stuff like that, doing cosplay, celebrating their passion for these games and franchises. Is Nintendo going to go after that stuff? You know, if they do, then other companies who, you know, might think the same way as Nintendo might start doing the same crap. But I don't think there's as many companies out there that feel and think the way Nintendo does, that is obsessive over this kind of stuff. The fan games, that kind of, I'm not a huge you know, fan of fan-made games. I'm just being honest. But I just don't see the harm in it, and it kind of bothers me more than the ROM situation about them taking down ROM websites. The fan stuff really bothers me a hell of a lot more. Just kind of, it does tick me off a bit, you know, because where does it end? Where does it end? These people aren't hurting anyone. If they're selling their fan games, if they're selling the creation tools, that's a whole other thing. But to just be a fan of something and you know, make your own creations of it, not for profit, just for sharing, I really don't see the issue with that, and it kind of really annoys me. I don't know. But hey guys, share your thoughts. Let me know how you feel about this. The fan-made game thing, you know, the Pokemon Essentials creation tools, Nintendo in general. I'm really curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are on this stuff. It's not going to end. It's going to continue going this way. But I mean, what's the limit? I don't think there's going to be a limit with the way Nintendo reacts on this stuff. You know, from what I had heard and other articles I've read on this particular situation, you know, they're saying that Nintendo was, you know, being really reasonable or fair or polite about the request to take this down. But I mean, what does that really mean? Being fair or polite and kind? I mean, does that really matter? They could be jerks about it, they could be polite about it. It's still, to me, with that aspect of you know, game players and fans, people who want to create, people who want to share their creations and express their passion for this stuff, I just feel it doesn't matter if you're being polite or rude about it. Like, these are your fans. These are the people who are probably spending more on your games than anybody else. Those people who are creating fan games, that are creating fan art, doing stuff like that, they're the ones who are spending the most money. So now, you kind of, you push them away a little bit with this kind of stuff. Doesn't matter if you're polite or not. He pushed them away. Said, hey, you know, thanks for being a fan, but stop expressing that you're a fan. That's just ridiculous. But yeah, share your guys' thoughts and views down below. Really curious to hear what you guys got to say about this. And with that said, guys, smash that like button, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. It means the world to me. Appreciate all of you guys. And I will catch y'all next time. Peace out, bye-bye, and boom!